to hear
Okay,
so that you can unlock that abundance that you really want for yourself. I love this. Jennifer saying, I intend to create more abundance in my life and unlock any blocks that are keeping me from staying on task and doing what is necessary to create abundance. Allison is saying, I think we all need a breakthrough to elevate to a different level that comes through mindset. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Dawn, is that okay for me to do that?
yes, I'm going to make you, also I'm going to spotlight you, so. Oh, and more are going to be coming in. That's the thing about realtors, like they might not show, but they will watch the recording because they're out showing property. And I know we're getting busy already for this year, so.
And will you enable me to share my,
Oh yeah,
there I
sorry.
am. Okay.
There we go.
Cool. Okay.
So let me introduce you again really quick since we just got started. So everyone, this is Alexandra Takeda. She has an amazing online money mastery course, and she's all about abundance and mindset and just such a beautiful soul. If you don't follow her on social media, you need to. And she is giving us an hour of her time today to have this how to unlock abundance and let the money flow in 2024. So thank you so much for being our guest today, Alexandra.
I am thrilled to be with you, and thank you for having me, Dawn. I really appreciate it. And Dawn has been one of my best students, so I always love that when people are all in, and that's really, I'd say, the type of women that I attract into my world are people who are all in, who are ready to do big things, and serious about cultivating their best money mindset, really healing their relationship with money. And I'm going to introduce myself in a second, but I just want to say thank you for being here. I know it takes a lot to get here, and there's just stuff that comes up with life that throws you for curveballs and sometimes takes you out of the game. But I want you to, pat yourself on the back because you actually showed up. You got here. We've got, the next 50 minutes or so. It is 1:11 on my clock, which is always an auspicious number. And I want to be thoughtful about our time. So I'm going to move through really quickly. What I'm going to ask is that you open up your chat, you get it ready, and you really work with me as we go through this and use this as an active process to to co-create the abundance that you're wanting to create as we walk into 2024. So this conversation is all about unlocking abundance and money flow. I'm going to share some stories. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and I want it to be interactive. So play at a level 10, assume that magic can happen and things will unfold just the way that they are supposed to. I'm going to set the intention that together we activate and we elevate an energy to a whole other level than maybe into possibility that we didn't even know was possible. And that there is going to be a resonance and a co-creation here with all of us working together, that even if I don't say the thing, somebody else will, and it'll be exactly what you needed to hear. So we're just going to set that intention. And if you haven't already typed it into the chat, the chat is active, so go ahead and put it in there. What is it that you are intending for this session? What is it that you are wanting to unlock? What is it that you're going to be claiming for yourself as we move into this? So, okay, full presence, yes? Give me a yes in the comments if you're here for it. The one other thing that I want to say before we dive in is that every time I do these conversations, as I have these, do these kinds of talks, have these kinds of conversations, I'm inside of groups, whether it's on a stage or on a Zoom like this, there is magic that unfolds. So there will be things that we talk about today that are going to start happening for you, whether it's today, tomorrow, inside of the next week, or the week after that. And I want you to look for those synchronicities. I want you to look for that evidence of something that was sparked in this conversation, a thought, a dream, a vision, an idea, an inspiration that came forward, a wish, a desire, a want that comes to fruition. And then I want you to notice it as it happens. Maybe it's an opportunity that comes forward. Maybe it's a house that closes that you've been working on for the past month and it finally sells. Maybe it's a check that appears in the mail. It doesn't really matter what it is. Maybe it's a phone call from a friend that you've been really thinking about and wanting to reconnect with. Maybe it's a book that comes into your experience. There are so many different ways that these synchronicities can show up, that abundance can present itself. So I want you to just be willing, be open, be available to it coming, because it's coming. And I'm certain of that. And so I want you to notice it. And then when you notice it, I want you to say thank you. I want you to amplify that abundance inside of your gratitude. I want you to magnetize even more of it by acknowledging it. And if you have the capacity, I would love for you to share it back with me or share it with Don. So you say, hey, this is the synchronicity that happened, because then there's even more magic that unfolds inside of that awareness, inside of that recognition of it. Yes, give me a comment if you're up for that challenge. So, yes, girl, abundance and self-mastery, all in. I love it. All these intentions that are coming through. My word for the year is abundance, consistent, continuous abundance, flow and listing, sales, attraction, mentoring, education, health, and finances. Yes, 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 yes. So we're just going to keep riding with that energy of yes as we go through. We're going to start with a question. And I want to just invite you to, this isn't something that you have to type into the comments. This is really just something for you to hold for yourself and to take note of. So I want you to just ask yourself, where are you in terms of knowing your money goals and all the steps that it's going to take to get you there? And on a 1 to 10, where are you in terms of your confidence level? How is that feeling for you right now? Do you have a clear number? Are you feeling good about that number? What are you feeling? And there's, no right or wrong here. Just if you want to put some things out, if you want to put a number out there, you're welcome to share that with the group. My guess is that most of you are probably somewhere in that middle range. Someone's typing a 6 in right now. Yeah, I would say anywhere from like a 4 to a 7 is probably where most of you are. Maybe some of you are up in that 8 or 9 scale. My guess is that, if you're 10 on your goals, feeling really confident, but maybe 8 on the steps, that's amazing. Good job. I would say 10 is aspirational, unless you're already at the net worth that you want, unless you've already got all the numbers in the bank, unless you've already exceeded your goals and that you're at the top of your game, like most of us aren't going to be there yet because there's always room to grow. So in that middle range is a great place to be. What I want you to write down now is the number that you would like to see yourself earn this coming year. If like the sky was the limit, if anything was possible, what would that number be? And I want you to write that down for yourself. Just take a piece of paper, grab your journal if you have one accessible, and just write it down. And again, you don't have to type this into the comments. This is just for you. Just write it down. And as you write that down, I want you to notice how you're feeling inside of your body. What does that number bring up for you? Is it like a thrill and excitement? Is there fear? Is there like, there's no way this is possible? I want you to notice if you limited that number because there was a voice inside of your head that said, I'd really like it to be X, but I'm going to write down, Y because I don't think I can get X. This is more practical. This is a more prudent number. This is a more realistic number. So I'm going to go with this one, even though I'd love to see this. I want you to just notice any dysymmetry inside of your body that's coming up for you because your body is an amazing communicator and is communicating to you all the time and giving you information. So Sabrina's saying resistance. What else are you guys feeling? Let me know in the comments. What's coming up? Excitement, resistance, excited and uneasy. Yeah. You guys have an amazing opportunity in front of you, especially within the side of this business. You're on the ground at the forefront, excited and hopeful. I love that. I love that. And any of that unease, any of that fear, any of that doubt that might be coming up for some of you who haven't responded, it might be there. Confident, hopeful. I mean, you guys are go-getters. You're on this call. There's probably going to be people who are watching this on the replay who didn't get themselves to the call, and they may not be feeling the same way, right? Maybe they're going to get to the replay. Seeing ones around too high of a goal. If that's you, like, that's okay. What I want to remind everybody here of is that any of that fear that we feel is a reflection of our conditioning, not of our potential. So I'm going to say that again. The fear that you feel, any of the tightness, any of the resistance, any of the doubt, any of the anxiety, any of those lower vibration feelings, those are just a reflection of the conditioning. The things that you learned, the stories that you heard, some of the experiences that you had, not necessarily reflective of the potential, right? Your potential is unlimited. One of the things that I love to say is that money is an indicator of our impact, right? And so what we want to do is we want to give ourselves permission to ask for more, right? To really allow ourselves to step into earning more and doing what we love, knowing that, becoming our wealthiest, most abundant, highest version of ourselves is of service to the world, right? There's nothing about there's nothing about that doesn't bring goodness, right? When you are your most abundant, you have more capacity to be generous with yourself, with your spouse, with your children, with your inside of your church, inside of your community, with your clients, with your customers, right? You have so much more capacity that opens up when you are in a place of abundance rather than scarcity and lack. Think about the last time that you felt like you didn't have enough, right? How open were you to going the extra mile, doing the thing for somebody else, right? It's so much harder to do that when we're in a place of not enoughness. So I really want you to set the goal for yourself right now to actually give yourself permission to ask for more. And to know that that's not necessarily something that's going to be easy. I'm going to ask, there's probably going to be things that I'm even going to stretch past your comfort zone, maybe even something that I say that you're going to be like, what? I don't know if I can do that. So I just want to invite you to open your mind, and as we move through this, remind yourself to ask yourself, is this serving my highest good? Is this of benefit to me in any way? And just to question it, whether that's a thought, that's a feeling that you have, because you might discover that there's some natural gut reactions that you have to things that are just old programming. They're old loops, they're old stories that really don't need to come into this coming year with you. And if that's the case, if you ask that question, is this bringing me to my highest good? Then you're going to know. You're going to know for yourself whether you want to change it up. So just to introduce myself again, I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm a business strategist. Really, everything that I do is around empowering women to become abundant. I truly believe that empowered and abundant leaders change the world. And I put all of my information down on this slide for you. If you want to actually take out your cell phone and text that number 33777 and type the word abundant, I'm going to give you a free gift. It is 2 meditations all around abundance and reshaping your relationship with money. They're really powerful. They're almost more like an activation than a meditation. You can take them on a walk. You could exercise on your Peloton or the Precor with that thing. You could go for a run with it. You could stretch to it. You could sit quietly. Use it how you want to use it. I encourage you guys to all join my Facebook group, Abundance Revolution, to follow me on Instagram. If you take a picture of you during this slide and post it to your, and any part of this talk together, and you post it as a story and tag me, I'm going to be picking somebody special and give you a free call. So you have all the incentive of the world to share it out. Please follow me and let me know that you're there so I can follow you back and we can, be in relationship together. So I'm going to talk about 5 things here today, and we're going to move through them pretty quickly. But we're going to talk about 5 keys to unlocking abundance and money flow, and really with the intention of you confidently owning your worth so you can grow your business, you can make more money, and you can increase your impact. That's what we're here to do, right? Being a realtor is an amazing, amazing gift out into the world. I have bought and sold several houses. And I know the power of that relationship and really having a good realtor to help navigate all the many things that can go inside of that process. And really, we're going to talk about these 5 things: letting go of money blocks, getting intimate with your money, raising your financial thermostat, making space for that abundance, and then taking the aligned action. If the code is not recognized, there may be something happening with it. I'll go back in and I'll make sure that we send it back out. It should be recognized. I'm not sure. I checked it before, so I don't know what's happening, but the weather has been weird. I woke up with a sick daughter this morning, all sorts of stuff. So it may just be that, but we are here. I promise that I will make sure that you all get it, and we get it to you. So don't worry about that. Okay. Letting go of money blocks. Has anybody ever heard of money blocks? Is there something that you think is blocking you? Let me know. And I call them money blocks, but honestly, it's like anything that's in the road. We can remove it from the pathway and clear the way. So these are not insurmountable, but they're really common challenges that women have.
And Alexandra, like
Yep.
I feel such a difference in the way I used to think, and I had all of these money blocks because of my childhood and my earlier years. Like I feel like my brain was pre-programmed with all of these lack thoughts, and I really never realized it even until I started learning about the difference in living in a scarcity and lack mindset versus moving over to abundance. And so everything started changing when I started recognizing that.
What'd you say?
Can everybody please mute? Hold on. Let me see who I need to mute. Okay, everybody's muted now, Alexandra.
I'm just going to talk through a couple of these, but these are really, really common ones. Block number 7, being so generous with others that you leave yourself for last. We all know this person. Maybe we've been this person who just pours everything out, gives, and then there's nothing left. And we ended up tired, exhausted, wiped out, maybe even got ourselves sick in the process because we just did too much for everybody else and we forgot about ourselves. That is a way that we block our abundance. So we don't let all the rich goodness of this beautiful universe in to support us, right? We refuse help. There's lots of different ways that comes. Capping out at an upper limit. There is a gentleman named Gay Hendricks who wrote a book called The Upper Limit. He talks all about this, where we literally set an income cap. We have, or, it could even just be an abundance cap. We have a limit to how much of that wealth, income, or, rich, abundant goodness, joy, whatever it is, love, that we allow into our experience. It's like we're a thermostat, right? And we've turned it to a certain level. And if we start to get, go above that zone, if we're at 90 degrees and we're like, oh, I'm going to get to 95, we start to get above that zone. What happens is we subconsciously start to sabotage ourselves. We take actions. We get into a fight with our spouse. We, don't complete the assignment on time. We have a car accident that takes takes a big chunk of our money that we have to then go spend on fixing our car, whatever it is. There's some way that we subconsciously sabotage our success. So instead of being at that 95 degrees, we come back down to that place of comfort at 90 degrees, right? So there are things that we do even subconsciously that thwart us because we haven't done the work to peel back and say, okay, what is it that I really think about this? What's in the way of me getting here? And allowing ourselves to gradually adjust the temperature up so we can reestablish comfort and get beyond it. Another way that we do this is we give our work away at discounts or for free, or we barter with the universe, right? Oh, I'll do this, sure, I'll take a lower percentage on the commission, or I'll just give all this stuff away and, not ask for the money, but I'm more than willing to go pay everybody else for everything that they are asking, right? Can you imagine going into Nordstrom's and having them say, oh, you can just have this shirt for 20 bucks, even though it costs 80. Like, they're just not ever going to do that. Right. And so it's really, really important, especially as business owners, when we're thinking about our time, when we're thinking about our energy and the things that we're doing, that we're allowing ourselves to be compensated. There's a lot of women in business who have a hard time asking for the money. If you're in real estate, you're probably a little bit more comfortable with this, but there's a lot of women who are uncomfortable with this. And even if it's not inside of money, I want you to think about, where are you giving your time and your energy away and not allowing yourself to receive in return? Let's see, avoiding money. This is a really, really big one, you guys. There was a woman who was in my Money Mastery Academy who, when we got down to it on one of our individual calls, she had piles and piles of like old bills and paperwork and bank statements and mortgage bills and all sorts of crap just piling up on her table that she was avoiding and neglecting and in denial about. This woman made almost $200,000 a year. She had plenty of money to pay these bills, but she had learned a pattern and a habit from her family around neglect and a belief that we're proud to be poor that kept her sabotaging herself, right? Kept her turning a blind eye towards her personal finances. And as a result, created quite a bit of havoc for her life. After she went through my Money Mastery Academy, she actually really turned that around and dropped that mantra of we're proud to be poor and was like, I'm proud to be abundant, and realized how successful she already was and what she could do with that. She got herself cleaned up around her money, actually started managing her money, was able to then send her children to private school, and within 3 months of being in the course, paid off the entire mortgage on her home. This is a big transformation, you guys. There are really subtle changes that can happen that can have a tremendous impact when you start to deal with these blocks. So just noting for yourself, maybe you want to type it into the comments. What's the block that you're ready to leave behind? What are you going to release? What are you going to let go of and lean into the light of abundance as you move forward into 2024? Write it into the comments and let me know, and I'm going to celebrate that with you. One of the reasons that we don't allow ourselves to be abundant is because we each have what I call a financial blueprint, right? We have a map of all the beliefs, all the thoughts, all the stories, all the experiences that we've had around money that are impacting our experience. So someone here is saying spending too much. Hey, if that's your story that you're ready to let go of, that's really powerful. And that to notice, like, how did that come about? Where did I learn that? Is that serving me? Spending money on things I don't use, right? Like, I don't need these things. Why am I doing that? What is it that what's the whole, what's the thing I'm trying to fill up by these things? And how could I get that same sort of fullness and completeness by implementing a different habit, right? So understanding that, one of the things that I I think is really powerful. And I teach a whole module around this, is around your, your thoughts and your mindset. Is 95% of our thoughts are actually what are subconscious, right? We aren't even aware of these thoughts. They're just programs that are running in the background of our mind. We have like 60,000 thoughts a day, you guys. That's a ton of thoughts that are moving through our bodies, little electrical currents beaming out energy into the world, right? And if we're not even aware of 95% of them, it's powerful. It's powerful in directing the things that we do. 5% of our thoughts are conscious thoughts. They're directed, created thoughts. So the more that we can become aware, I say this all the time, awareness is your greatest tool in making more money. One of the tools that I want to give you right now is to just set 3 alarms on your phone: morning, midday, evening. And every time that alarm goes off, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And what you're doing is you're slowing yourself down, you're getting grounded in your body, and you're going to ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? And you're just going to notice. You're going to notice the train of thought that's happening. You're going to notice the story that you're telling. You're going to notice the conversation and the talking that's going on subconsciously in your mind. That's the first thing. Set the alarm, take 3 breaths, and you're going to become aware. And inside of that awareness and noticing what you're thinking about, then you have the opportunity, you have the space for choice, to make a conscious choice. Do I want to continue this thought pattern forward, or do I need to press pause and reframe it and direct myself in a different direction? If you do nothing but that out of this conversation, I promise you there will be massive change that happens inside of your life, because awareness is 100% one of your greatest tools in making money. Starting with understanding, how am I actually guiding myself? How am I talking to myself? What am I saying to myself, like moment by moment? So just those 3 alarms will be powerful for you. Here's how to know how you feel about money and what that conversation looks like. Ask yourself this question: how do you currently feel about money? What are the emotions that come up? What's the story that automatically pops into your head? What's the memory that's jogged? What are the things that you associate with it? Type it into the comments right now and let me hear from you. I love money, but I'm always trying to make it. I feel anxious when I think about money these days. Oh, there's not enough money. Where's the money going to come from? I don't have enough money. I want to buy that. Where's the money? Yeah, that feels really tight. A good way to plug in to how you feel about money is just to start to reflect on, I'm lately feeling really overwhelmed. Great, I made it through another year. This year will be different. Yeah. And noticing, is that a repetitive pattern too? Okay, I made it through the year. This year is going to be the year, right? So like, if nothing changes, nothing changes. That's really powerful to remember. If nothing changes, nothing changes, right? That's that upper limit. That's that like breaking through the comfort zone, actually doing things differently to shift what happens, right? So I'm not calling you out specifically on that. I'm just, giving that as a keystone for all of us here to remember. If nothing changes, nothing changes. We've got to expand beyond the current and into new territory, into, new dynamics if we want to create something new. Money comes and goes, but the bills need to be paid. And I don't need too much money as long as my family and a roof over their head and guidance. Yeah, and God provides, right? It is true. And yet, how are you limiting yourself, right? What would it be like to feel really powerful with money and to not feel like money comes and goes, but to have a belief that says money's here and it stays? That's really different. That's a really different place to live. And, you know, what could that do for you? What could be possible inside of that alternate reality of money comes and it's going to keep coming and money stays and money grows? And I feel powerful with money and I feel like I can manage my money and I can save my money and I can trust money and I can invest my money and I can be generous with my money. How does that feel? I don't know about you, but that feels amazing to me. That's the way I want to feel about money. And that's the way I do feel about money. And I didn't always feel that way about money. You guys, I don't know what story I told last time I was here, but for those of you who are just meeting me, I want you to know that, I have created a massively abundant life. I have a beautiful home. I have incredible children and a loving husband. I have a business that I adore and clients that I love working with. And I didn't grow up with a lot of money. Money was scarce. Money was definitely the topic of lots of arguments for me. There was constant arguments between my mom and my dad about money and, paying for things, and there's not enough money and we can't afford that. I was the kid who wore only hand-me-downs. My first powerful memory around money was when I was 5 years old and I was in kindergarten and I had a dime that I paid for lunch because I was on a reduced lunch program. My mom did not make enough money as a single mom to pay the $1.10 for lunch. That's what it cost back then. And there was no sophisticated, choice lunch program where you load up your credit card on the computer and it, subtracts from your accounts. Like you literally had to carry your money in your pocket to school. And one day I lost my dime and I panicked because I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to eat. And I was 5 years old and I went into a serious anxiety attack. And I'm sure I was crying and a mess. And my teacher, who probably had more than 30 kids in that class and was completely overwhelmed herself, did not have the capacity to deal with me. And she made an example of me in front of that class. And she told everybody that I had lost my dime and I was not responsible, and shame on you. And in that moment, I recognized that, wow, I'm different. Other people's lunches cost more than mine. I don't have any money. I'm poor. I made up all sorts of stories that I carried into my life for a long, long time. And it wasn't until my early 20s that I decided that I was done with that story, that story was not serving my highest good. It was not allowing me to live into my gifts, right? God created each of us on purpose for a purpose, and I was holding myself back from that purpose with that story. And I remember making a conscious decision when I was about 25 years old that if I didn't change my story around how I felt with abundance, and the way that I was dealing and thinking and being with money, my entire life was going to be full of limitation and scarcity. And it started with that knowingness that I needed to heal my relationship with money. Right. And so I started doing the work. And I was like, okay, I started reading books. I started taking courses. I found coaches. I did all sorts of things. And about little ways into that journey, my now husband, who was my boyfriend for 1 month at the time, gave me a pearl necklace. This was a beautiful, deep, like those black gray pearls that you find in French Polynesia, just stunning necklace. And I remember feeling like I couldn't accept that gift because I didn't feel worthy of it. And I just freaked out. I like spazzed. I couldn't even like say thank you for the gift. And later that evening, he'd gone home and I sat with myself and I sat with the discomfort of that feeling of not being able to receive that gift. And I asked myself, what is going on here? Like, what is this about? And I realized that it was all about my relationship with money, with not feeling enough, with not feeling deserving, not feeling worthy, and that the abundance in my life was deeply connected to the way that I was relating to money. That unless I healed this piece of my story, that I wasn't even going to let in the love that I wanted inside of my life. I wasn't going to let in the vibrance. I wasn't going to let in the joy. I wasn't going to let in the purpose or the community or the friendships or, the incredible, bountiful abundance that this universe has to offer us. And that to me was like the absolute turning point. It's like, I'm all in on this. I got to figure this out because there's so much that I want and I'm not willing to continue this way. And I did the work. I dug in. Like I said, I hired coaches. I went back and got my coaching certification. I read about 1,000 books on the topic of prosperity and abundance and money. And I'm telling you, and then 3 months, like my entire experience shifted. And I went from, having an earned income credit on my taxes to signing my first 6-figure client within 3 months of starting that journey. So I want to give you hope that, when you start this process, like no matter what your upbringing, no matter what the stories are, if money was scarce as a kid, but we just had enough, right? It really doesn't matter where you're starting from. It's the intention that you're holding of what it is that can become, right? The possibilities are endless. And like I said, I have an incredibly abundant and successful business and life, and I've been able to be massively generous in my experience because of all the abundance I've created, including, big dollar donations and things inside of our community that I'm really, really proud of. And that were, a big piece of the impact that I'm here to create. So this is just a list of really common beliefs. I want you to just notice if these are things that are part of your ongoing conversation, whether it's a conversation you're having with other people or a conversation you're having with yourself. I don't deserve success. I can't earn that much. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money with people are greedy. Money is dirty. More money, more problems. Money is hard to make. Money doesn't grow on trees. There's never enough money. Money is bad. It's wrong to want money. Just notice, like, there's like 1,000 more things that we could list here, right? This is just like the tip of some of the comments, but these are some of the most common beliefs and thoughts that I hear people speak about money. So just notice if these are things that you're saying because you are in relationship with money. And, this is often a foreign concept for people, but like you're in a relationship with money. And so like any relationship, the relationship that you have has to be one that's based on love, nurturing, right? Your relationship has to be nurtured. There has to be like a joy to it, right? Who wants to hang around with somebody who's like super needy, right? If you got feeling really needy about your money, like that's extremely repelling, right? You don't want to think about that. If that was like a boyfriend that was like really needy, you'd be like, give me some space. Wouldn't want to hang out. Also, if you're at an obsession level or, feeling like hot and cold with it, any of those things, just notice how would you characterize that relationship with money, and is it actually healthy, right? Most of these comments are not positive, right? So we're going to want to work on that, right? That's going to be powerful for you. So one of the keys that I have around this is just getting intimate with our money, right? When you change your relationship with money, the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, the feelings with money, you change your experience of having money. And that certainly was the reality for me. So just write it down for yourself and put it into the comments. What would your life be like if you felt powerful around money? If you didn't feel like it was scarce, or if it's like there's sometimes it comes, there's just enough to pay the bills, but what if it felt really powerful? If you felt like there was enough, if you felt like you could trust yourself with money, like what would you be doing? How would that feel? What would that be like? Type that into the comments. I want to know. What would your life be like if you felt powerful around money? Imagine you put another 0 on the end of that number that you said at the beginning. This is the amount of money I want to make. What would be possible for you? Maybe you put 2 zeros on there. What would be possible for you? You feel peaceful. The elephant would be off my chest. I'd be taking care of myself more and I'd be less stressed. Everything would be different. I would enjoy my family more. Wow. I bet they would enjoy you more too. That's really, really powerful. I feel a sense of peace. Who doesn't want that? So answering this question, what do you need to let go of and heal when it comes to money? Where do you need to hold more faith? Maybe not just rely on yourself. There were one thing that you know you need to release or let go of when it comes to money, one thing that you know you need to heal when it comes to money, what would that be? Let us know. If you want to hold on to it, that's fine. I'd be traveling more often. I'd be giving lots to nonprofits. So there's a question here. What about dreams? I have dreams. I am losing everything. That's a mirror into your subconscious, right? There's a stress there that's maybe there, and that's really, really common. You know, sort of like you get to a certain place and you're like waiting for the shoe to drop. What I always say is, guess what? You're the shoe. I know that sounds kind of silly, but honestly, like you're the shoe. Like, what's going to drop? Like, can you? That's can you depend on yourself? Have you gotten yourself out of situations before? Do you trust yourself? Right? Like, you're not going to let that happen. You're not going to lose everything. And digging into that, like, where is that belief coming from? Is there something that happened? I had a woman who went through my money mastery program who could never earn more than $60,000 a year. She was capped, and she had a real fear around managing money and trusting herself with money. And she always felt like she was going to lose it. And we dug into that. And what came up was that her father had gone into bankruptcy and had gotten in trouble with taxes and all these things, and like a lot of chaos ensued in her life, and it was a big deal. And so that was a story that she had held on to around, I don't know how to manage money, I'm not good with money, I don't want to earn too much money, because if I do, then problems are going to come. And so once we peeled back and we got to really what the root and the origin of that story was about, then it was really clear that like this wasn't even her story. And you know what? It might even have been her dad's story. It was the story that she made up about what happened to her dad. And there was no need for her to hold on to that story anymore. And it was a lot easier to then let go of it once we uncovered what it was, and we could lean into the light of, you know what, like I can become empowered. I can take courses. I can interview financial managers. I can, read books about this. I can, follow different information and get informed about the choices that I'm making, right? I can trust myself to make good decisions, right? And starting slowly to build. She's gone on to buy her dream home, take her business up into the, 300,000, I think combined. She and her husband are way over 500 at this point, thousand a year. So super powerful. Antonella is saying I would teach others to lead the way and give to nonprofits more than I do now. I would retire my husband. Yeah. Powerful things can happen when you feel powerful around money. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to raise our financial thermostat. We talked about that in the beginning, right? We have a certain level. We can't expand past that because we bring ourselves back down, right? And one of the key things that I see is that we often have a belief that there's something wrong with wanting money, that it's sort of bad to desire it, or we shouldn't have that aspiration, or that shouldn't be part of our goal set. And maybe that's not the thing for some of you, but there's probably still an edge there. And what I want to communicate is that there's nothing wrong with wanting, having, spending, enjoying, giving, sharing, saving, investing, being generous with your money, right? And the best thing that you can do for yourself is start to think about money as a tool to help you do your good work, to live your abundant life, to make the impact that you want to make, right? And for those of you who are saying to give to nonprofits, absolutely 100%, and take care of yourself in the process, right? Making sure that you're pouring out from the overflow of the cup, right? Or we're still back in that old cycle, an old block of overspending, overgiving, without really creating that solid foundation. So starting with that solid foundation, so then you have investments, you have ways to give, right? As a family, we've started a donor advised fund. We've put in stocks, investments, and things into that. So it's a self-fulfilling vehicle for us to give donations. So we can give large donations. We can give donations in the tens of thousands. As a family, we've given donations in the hundreds of thousands. So yes, it's totally possible. You can get yourself there. One of the ways that I find super powerful to help us navigate into that place of recognizing that money is an indicator of our impact, that we deserve to be massively compensated for the good work that we do in the world, is to be really clear about our purpose for money. Why do we want money? What's the impact of having more than enough money? What would my life be like if we felt powerful around money? And I really encourage you to go forward outside of this conversation and start to articulate that for yourself. We spend a lot of time inside of my Money Mastery Academy, an entire first module, where we're looking at this and a lot of other aspects that are related to this, that are really stretching the bounds of our imagination. I can't tell you how many women I ask, and men too, like, how much money do you want to make? What do you want? What are you wanting to do? And the answer is like, oh, I just want more money. What the heck is more money? Is more money 10 cents or is it $1 million, right? Like, our goals are more easily attained when we have clarity about what it is that we want to achieve, right? We can come into alignment with them. We can line up action steps. We can help connect ourselves with the right people and the right resources when we know what it is that we want. And money is no different, right? It's just like if somebody says, I want a new house, like, well, what kind of house do you want? Do you want a 1-story house or a 2-story house? Do you want 1 bedroom or 3 bedrooms? Do you want an office? Do you want a garage that's attached or detached? Do you want to be in a condo or an apartment, right? Are you interested in this neighborhood or that? We got to get that type of clarity in order to be able to, define the roadmap to getting there. So really thinking about this, what's your purpose for money? Right? What's the impact of having more than enough money for you personally, for your family, for your community? And we've started that exercise. So I encourage you to continue to go forward with that. One of the things that I talked about earlier, I think I talked about it earlier. I was on a call earlier in this, so excuse me if I'm I'm skipping here. Allison is saying generational wealth. Yeah, you want to create a legacy of wealth. That's a powerful one in terms of a purpose. That's one of mine. I also have it that I love to travel and create memories with my children and my husband. So that's one of the things that we do, and it's one of the ways that we use our money. I want to be able to give generously to philanthropies. I want to be able to do the work that I love and have time freedom and things like that. So all of that goes into my purpose for money. Dawn is saying break the poverty cycle my family has had for many years. Yeah. And you've already done that, Dawn. So like that's checked. I would even say, what's the next level, right? Like you've done that. And like there's, I know you've got some aspirations around the ways that you are involved inside of your community that are really powerful. Freedom. Yeah. And define, what does that freedom feel like, right? What does that actually feel like on a daily basis? And how can you actually start to recognize that? So one of the things that make my husband and my family proud, right? Awesome. Make space for abundance, right? There's something called the vacuum law of prosperity that says like, if there's no, like in order to bring something new, there has to be a void, there has to be a space for it. So it's like, if your closet is like so jammed with clothes and has like a hanger, like up next to every little bit that there's like, you couldn't even shove a new shirt in there, there's no space to receive, right? And as women, and that's mostly who's on this call right now, we actually have to be open to receive, and we're phenomenal at giving, but we're not always as great at receiving, right? And so we actually have to be open and willing and receptive, right? We have to have space to bring in the new. And so, that might mean giving up some beliefs, giving up some habits, actually starting a practice of, documenting, looking at your accounts, measuring the money that you have, understanding where it's coming in from, what are the expenses that are going out. Like there's all sorts of detailed ways that this might happen that might actually make space for new abundance. Maybe it's taking an assessment and realizing that you're blocking up your schedule with all these non-essential tasks that aren't actually focused on generating the leads that you need to gain new clients and customers in your real estate business, right? Maybe you need to clear something out of your calendar so you can actually make space to have some of those sales calls that are and actually starting to show more listings, or maybe there's something that you're doing that's blocking that and you need to refocus your energy. So only you can answer that. What is holding you back, right? What has been blocking the space? Maybe it's a thought pattern. I'm too afraid to ask for the business. I'll, talk all day to people, but I won't ask for the business that I need. So knowing that. So I know we're just about out of time here. So I just want to take one more minute, and obviously, action is a big part of this. People often want to say, okay, I wrote it down, I put my goal down, I got it. Like, but that it's, it's making the calls, it's reaching out, it's asking for the business, it's, looking at what are the money making actions inside of your business that actually transforms, a desire into a sold property, into, somebody moving into that new home, right? So just noticing for yourself, is there a lever inside of your business that you can pull that's going to propel results? Is there something that you've been avoiding doing? Is there some place inside of your belief set where you need a little bit more congruence in terms of your beliefs and your actions, right? Have you been saying, I want this, I can do this, but then you're not taking action on it? Noticing that for yourself. And I'd love to hear in the comments if there's something that's coming up for you, like, hey, I haven't been doing that. I haven't been asking people for the business. I haven't been posting on my social media. I haven't been going to the networking events. Like, what is it? What would be different? I want to invite you guys all into, I know Dawn is a part of this. Jennifer had joined us last time. I do have a special offer. My Money Mastery program is a 12-month program, ideally where you spend a whole year with me, and you get access to all of my teachings around money mastery. And as a special bonus, I'm offering a 3-month pass into that. That's also going to give you access to my bonus training vault, which is dozens and dozens of master classes and recordings. Dawn can attest. She wrote me the other day. I think it was this past week. Oh my gosh, I dove into your vault. Did this training with you. It was exactly what I needed. There are so many different topics that we talk about. There is a very specific process and a framework that I take you through inside of my Money Mastery Academy that starts with gaining clarity, looking at your belief sets, doing the forgiveness and acceptance work, starting to design the specific abundance plan for your business, and then taking that into aligned actions and a financial playbook. So we are more than mindset in that class. There's a lot of mindset, but there's a lot of really specific strategy and action work that happens too. As part of this offer, I'm going to do a one-on-one call with anybody who joins. The link is there. You can go check it out. You can do the special offer. You can do the whole course. Normally that course is $22.22. So I'm giving the special offer of 3 months for $297, or you can join for $1,000. And actually the time that we started, 1111. So 1,111 for the full year if you want to do that. If you do the 3 months, I'll give you a code, and at 3 months you want to come in for the entire year, you can take that off as a discount. So I'd love to have you. It's work I love to do. If you want to go grab it, you can. So put your hand on your heart, and I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Come back into your body. Just notice where you are. Notice any distractions that are in your head, anything that you're thinking about, and just let them go. Focus on the energy of your heart and repeat it with me. You can just say it in your own, out loud if you want to. We can't hear you, or in your mind. I am ready for my next step. I am ready for my next step. I am ready and open and willing to be in a place of abundance. I am open to being massively compensated, to achieving my financial goals. I am ready to be powerful with money. I am ready to trust myself with money. And I want you to just type into the comments quickly before we leave your biggest takeaway. What's the one thing that you needed to hear that I need you? Come and join me. Come hang out with me in the Money Mastery Academy. We're a beautiful community. For the first time ever, I feel like I'm in the next step. Yes, Dawn, and you've been doing the work. We've been doing the work together for over almost a year. Trust myself. Trust the process in myself. Yes. I love it. The necessity of tracking my money. Yeah, what we measure and what we pay attention to is where our energy flows, right? And it gets amplified. So if you, you guys, I highly recommend, even if you don't come into my Money Mastery Academy, if you go onto my Instagram, make sure that you find me there. And in the link in my bio, there are several free tools for you, including a money review guide, which is a powerful tool for having a conversation with yourself around your money if you're looking to manage your money. There are meditations, there are activations. I will get the abundance link bundle to Dawn so that she gets it out to everybody who is on this call live. And to keep a pulse on how I feel about money. Yes, I love that. And I love the hearts. Thank you. So follow me, post a pic of us on, and tag me on your socials so that we can, we can stay in touch. I know that you've followed me. I can follow you back. I can offer a free call to one abundant winner. And yeah, stay connected with me. Follow me. I have a lot of different resources that are for free that I would love to offer you that you can go dig into and come into my world. And this was just a taste. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. This was awesome as always. Love it. And I'm so grateful that you came again today. I know we did this call back in like October, but I felt like it was so off the cuff and we didn't we didn't get it out to enough people. So now we have more of an audience inside of Epic. So I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people watching this recording and getting something from this. So I'll put that link, Alexandra, if you'll message it to me also, because I did not copy it. Actually, I'll copy it and then I'll put that in the YouTube link with the recording.
Great. Yeah. And I'll send you some links so you have them, and then it's super
Okay.
easy. Yeah.
And is there like, are there any of your meditations? Like, I love your meditation method. I do your meditations every single day. That's a program in itself, isn't it?
It is, and it's not
Share
expensive.
that. Yeah, it's not,
Uh,
it's awesome. You do the best meditations that I have ever done. So I love
A
them.
lot of them
So
are super active, and you can check some of them out on my YouTube, or if you go, you could do a trial free 7 days, cancel it if you don't want to be a part of it. I'm not going
awesome.
to be offended. But you could check them out, and you can have access to the entire library for an entire week. See what it's like. A lot of them are, what I call walking, running, moving meditation. So you could do it on your Peloton, get on your pre-core, sit and chill out, whatever. A lot of them are very active with rhythmic music that is layered. So you're really riding an energy with the music and the words. They're very different than what a lot of people record.
Yeah, they
So
are.
um,
In a good way. Does
yeah,
it
I mean, and they're divinely downloaded. I literally will be out and receive them, and then I'll come and just, then it comes through. So it, I've gotten messages about how to record them, what needs to be said, specifically. And so that's what comes through. And half the time I don't even remember what I said. And I listen to them and I think, oh my goodness, that's amazing. So
love it?
they're
Does
channeled for
anyone
you.
does anyone have any questions? Help getting started with anything? Comments? All right. If not, we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see
Yeah.
you inside your program because I'll be
All
there.
right. And
Bye.
Jennifer,
And
get onto
Jennifer
your
will get in
messages
there.
and get on my calendar.
I will.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.